benefits of the new Agile Max. What we've done is we've taken the shock mount, we put it on this side of the sway bar. Originally, it was mounted pretty far back in. It would have been in position about right here. So as the lower arm goes through the travel, the shock was literally just idling back and forth here. So what we were able to do with this Max auxiliary shock is we moved it out here, moved it out about, close to 2 inches out here, and that gave us more of a mechanical advantage on the shock. So now we're taking this shock here, which is positioned up here in this mount, down to here. We're stroking that shock a total of 5 inches from full extension to full compression. Where on the old kit, we were doing about 2 3/4 of an inch. So it's a substantial improvement in mechanical advantage with the shock. And then now we've outfitted you with this prototype box. This has a adjuster in the bottom of it, and this allows you to adjust. There's 20 settings on this shock. This will allow you to adjust both the compression and the rebound at the same time with those 20 settings. So on your van, I think we're 3 clicks off of full soft, so you can go much stiffer if you need to. On some of these other RVs, we're doing somewhere around 10 clicks in, depending on the weight. And then we also, on the bigger RVs, like the big Hero 3500s, we can go up closer to the 15 and 20 clicks if needed. By moving this shock from this location out, which is about 2 inches, we were able to increase that mechanical advantage. So it's all about bringing this shock as far out as possible, and that makes a mechanical advantage in the shock. And then any of your tuning that you're doing in here with that more mechanical advantage, you'll see bigger improvement. So as you turn this, again on yours, I think you're set on number 3. We actually had it set on number 10. And you could really feel it was an aggressive shock up front. So we just backed it off a few clicks. So like when you're going out to the desert or something like that, you're carrying a big load, you can always just come down here, you can pop a quarter into here, and be able to turn that 1 or 2 clicks. And again, that's gonna affect both rebound and compression at the same time. Here's the shock in position. You can actually see where it's angling out. It's a similar angle to the factory strut. Of course, the further out we get that shock, the better mechanical advantage we'll have. In the case of the strut, these are about 7 1/4, 7.1 inches of travel. So we're getting full extension and compression out of this strut, and then we'll get full compression extension out of this shock here. In our R&D, we actually were able to remove even this bump stop and still stroke all the way through it. To get the shock out into this location, because it needs to be specifically in this area, we did have to relocate the sway bar. So see here we have a block. It's kind of an adapter. This allows us to take the sway bar and actually just cheat it back a little bit. Your factory bolts will hold in the gold block. This is a piece of billet steel, and then you'll have a new bolt that repositions and moves the sway bar. And you can only see it moves roughly about 3/4 of an inch back. Here's a dyno sheet. Again, this shock has 20 adjustments in it. So here's your first adjustment here. We only ran we only had time to do a few of the dyno tests. You can see 3 runs are done here. So primarily you're going to see this improvement. Here's your stiffest settings here and here. So this is your force, and then this is the speed the shock's moving. You also notice that this graph here is substantially smaller. So here's 150 there, here's 150 here, and you can see this one goes all the way to 650. So always by design, a shock will have more rebound control because of the piston design with the smaller holes in it over the compression control. So when you talk about a compression adjustment, yeah, it can be significant. It might feel it in the seat of your pants, but honestly, you don't see that big of an improvement in the force. So here we're going from 0 to 50. Here you can see where you got this 0 to 50. You can honestly, at the heavier setting, you'll be able to just spike it right away. But at the high end, your pounds are what do we got here? About 100 and 150 pounds of force difference. We're on rebound. You're going to see this one here on number 1. We're at 450. And on your highest setting, you're up almost about 650.